tonight we have two people not with us, unfortunately. We are missing Thane, because even though I have texted him, he has not jumped into Discord. And Fred Barnaby cannot be with us because he's visiting family tonight. So, that being said, some other stuff come up, so we are going to change some situations here as we move forward. But that being said, let's jump into story, and that means no more Minecraft for you.
I already got off.
Okay.
You just gotta look at his glasses.
Yeah,
it shines right into the oh, darn.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have not seen us in action together, this is John.
Hello.
He plays John Ryadoc, the monk that is currently traveling to his monastery. He is from an outsider, joined into the order, and he is heading back to find out what the heck is going on in the order. So, from there, last week we stopped at the point where we were finally approaching the village, riding up on your horses that you were all planning to meet at before you visited the Hall of the Spirit Dragon. And there were 3 large eagles perched on one of the roofs of the houses you could see up in the village from outside. Do you dare approach the village, or are you going to just go ahead and ride on in, seeing as the prince has sent you a message saying come to this village?
Yeah.
I go in.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As you ride your horses into the village, you come into the courtyard, and the village looks completely deserted. Chairs, stool stuff, buckets left, horse hay just scattered.
Blood?
People, no blood. No blood at all.
Do I remember that we could be possibly dealing with demons?
Roll a knowledge check.
Oh dear, roll 4.
Okay. What's your knowledge modifier?
My knowledge is 20.
It does occur to you that there could be a demonic presence stealing away these souls because of your previous experience.
Yeah.
With people disappearing. But this looks more like a hasty departure.
Okay.
So, though the thought is in the back of your mind, it does occur to you that it might not be what you think it is. Because in your experience before, it didn't look like hasty departure. It just looked like people keeled over and their souls were ripped out. These people are actually gone.
Okay.
So, but as you ride into the courtyard, you see your 2 monks and the prince sparring in the courtyard as they wait for you. And both of them are trying their hardest, but they can't touch Prince Eric, unfortunately. And as you look at him, all you can help is but remember the times when you are also the one getting knocked on your butt and you just can't touch him. But you ride up on your horses and dismount.
Nice rides.
He stops, holding both guys at arm's length, and one kind of in a headlock, the other guy kind of his heel pushed way out, and he's holding his fist, and both of them are kind of balanced, and he looks up, he's like, oh, the eagles. Yeah, I was wondering if you guys were going to think about that. Yeah.
You got here pretty fast.
Pretty good. And he does a twist and knocks both of them on their back, and stands up, helping both of them to their feet, and he's like, you know, you guys aren't going to get any better if you start using your imaginations when you fight. And he keeps walking.
You know, that looks really familiar. I think it was in the chokehold over there. Yeah.
He's like, he reaches out his hand to greet an old friend again, and he reaches out his hand to you.
Can I get ready for a reflex or a dex?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Are you going to touch his hand?
I am.
Okay, as he touches his hand, he just looks in your eye, and then he slides a foot out underneath of you. Roll a dexterity save. Yeah, you're...
11.
Yeah. He slides your foot out underneath of you and literally twists around in midair and flings you over onto the ground onto your back, and he's got his elbow holding your wrist and arm, and as your face is just kind of plastered into the concrete.
Some things don't change.
And he looks down at you and he's like, that's the John I know. He helps you to your feet and gives you a big hug. Huh?
Rhydock.
Rhydock?
It's okay.
He calls you Rydok, he calls you John. I mean, it's your name in game is John Rydok.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, you signed your papers that way when you joined the guild. So,
Got it.
But
How does who sign his papers?
John signed his papers, John Rydok.
Yes, who did?
I was there too.
Yeah, you were there. He was part of the stream that time.
But what's on the second?
I do have to turn him down.
Oh.
Give me a second. No, you're coming up yellow as the rest of us are green on audio levels on YouTube.
How is it that loud?
Yeah, I've got my Discord comes directly through the computer, and it doesn't get picked up by the microphone. We're picked up by the microphone. But you're good now. What was your question again now, Sam?
I said, how does who sign his paper?
Oh, I'm sorry. You were staying in character. He's so good. Okay. So, he helps you to your feet, and he looks around. He's like, well, enough of the fun. This is what we're looking at. And he puts his hands up, notioning to the empty village. He's like, I think we have some issues.
I told you guys that in the meantime, while that's happening, I'm just sitting on my horse making potions.
On your horse. Roll a dexterity save for that.
Oh, come on.
Is the horse moving?
I was just sitting there.
You're sitting there with a couple vials as you're bent over. Leona is kind of looking over your shoulder like, what the heck is he doing? You got like a couple vials in between your fingers as you're trying to mix stuff, holding onto your horse's reins at the same time.
But he's just sitting there.
And just then the horse moves to the side and you literally spill acid on your hand. Do a dexterity save again for that one.
I'm literally making light potions.
Okay, it's still acidic.
Fine. Man.
16. You burn your hand. You drop the potions. It shatters onto the ground. You lose the supply for making.
Dexterity of 17.
Yeah. Sorry. It sucks to be you right now. I'm going just off the rolls at the moment.
Hey man, I'm on my back.
And you spilled it off. The horse kicks and rears because you just spilled acid on the side of the horse, and he throws you off your horse.
Lovely.
You're now caught midair by Thane from his horse by the collar, and he's like, maybe stay on the ground when you're making potions.
I assume I didn't make any of potions?
No, they spilled all over the place.
Lovely. Well, let me just step back down then.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go to the center of the town.
Okay, you're
And say-
standing pretty much in the courtyard center of town.
Okay.
There is a large circular well. Think of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Large well she sat at. The
Perfect.
fountain, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're standing around that.
Okay. I'll probably go over to the not the well. Yeah, the well. And I'll probably sit on the well, like back against it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna meditate for a minute.
Alright. The prince and the two monks, they sit down next to you and they're cross-legged. And everyone else slowly dismounts their horse. You're going to start cleaning up your stuff, or you're just going to leave it sitting in the courtyard? Okay. While he's cleaning that up, Leona starts helping him, but other people are getting off their horses. Jack, do you have any input?
Yes. Riding into the town and everything, what's the general consensus that I get from this town as far as like shops or kind of like what's the atmosphere like?
The atmosphere is very rural, very self-contained. Everybody, typically, from your somewhat experience of knowledge that John has shared of the culture, they're pretty self-dependent. They all help each other out, and they don't deal with adventurers very often, so most of their stuff is just everyday living as far as their goods and whatnot.
Okay, I'll start looking for storehouses or anything of the...
Okay, roll a sense environment. That's a D10.
It's gonna be a 9 on the die.
Okay. You did find a small shed with some supplies in it, but most of the stuff has been hastily removed, and it looks like people were in a hurry just to get whatever was in there and get out. You end up finding, some grain, maybe to feed the horses, and maybe a couple tools, hammers, nails, stuff like that, but nothing really of value to a chemist.
Okay. Then I'll start going to like any of the public areas. Seeing if there's any kind of like any notes left behind or any kind of like indication of like maybe somebody thought, hey, maybe might come by and see what's going on.
Okay. As you're looking around, you really don't find any notes left behind. The departure was made far too quickly for anyone to take the time to write a note. Everything tables overturned, food still sitting on the table, stuff like that.
Alright, I'll go back to John and start talking with him about, how hastily everything had gone.
Okay. John, we'll go back to you in the courtyard while he's doing all this searching.
I stand back up. Is there any trees in the area?
Oh, there's some trees,
Are any of them broken?
No. The trees are not broken. Trees seem to be intact. The houses seem to be intact. Nothing really seems broken, it's just knocked over in haste and left.
Forgot his name already.
Prince Eric, I presume.
At this point, what... We've known each other. Do I just call him Eric?
You would just call him Eric, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fine with that.
I don't think we're close enough to make fun of it, but... Oh, Princey,
Eric the Red.
I call him over. Was there anything on top of the houses?
Just the eagles, but that's it. Prince Eric, after you called him over, he stands up, turns to you, and he's like, yes?
Was there anything on any of the roofs? Any scorch marks? Any handprints?
I was thinking the same thing, and I've been looking. I can't find
Nothing.
anything.
The trees seem fine also. Nothing snapped.
Yeah. It's, from what I can tell, everyone just got in, and they left. Took what they could grab, and ran. There are tracks leaving the town, some carts, wagons, some horses, but it looks like everyone else has gone further into the Great Hall.
Have you been here before?
I was here passing through in some of my adventures after I left the Great Hall, but I haven't visited here often.
Was there anything of importance here?
No. This was just one of the outlying villages.
Some things are just hidden in plain sight. Just asking.
Yeah. Nevertheless, Eric, pipes up, trying to draw everyone else's attention. I think we should head into the Great Hall. It's another
Disappearance?
2 days in of travel, but we should be able to make it there pretty quickly if we can. I would like to see what the heck is going on.
I guess you'll meet us there.
No, actually. He's like, would you guys rather travel on horses, or should we get there quickly?
Quickly is good.
Okay. He reaches over into a pack that he has sitting on the ground, and he turns to Leona. He's like, could I borrow that little crossbow of yours? He takes one of the crossbows from Leona, pulls out a tiny little bolt with a weird head on the top of it, and loads it, points it straight up in the air, and fires. You hear a very high-pitched whistle as it's flying through the air. And a few minutes later, the eagles, when they hear this, they ruffle their feathers and they jump off the roof into the courtyard. But a few minutes later, he whistles a number of times. One whistle for every person they don't have a ride for. And
Right.
A few minutes later, all these eagles come flying down out of the horizon and they land in the courtyard. And he just looks over, especially at you, since he has so much fun messing around with you guys. He's like, there are perks to being a prince and ex-adventurer. And he quickly pulls up and grabs his bags, throws them over his shoulder, and mounts up on his eagle. It's like,
How big are these things?
they are big enough to ride. Think Lord of the Rings, large eagles. They're
Okay.
huge.
When you just said eagle, I thought you were just talking like we have like little entrance area to 3 eagles just sitting.
No,
there.
these are live eagles watching you as you came into town.
I didn't realize you were talking about like human.
Yeah.
Any pointers?
He's like, let them do the flying, just hold on.
Cool.
So he mounts up. Is everyone going to mount up on their eagle?
Yeah.
Okay. You and everyone else with their equipment and everything are more than easily able to get onto your horses. Grab your saddlebags, and some of you are able to throw them around the neck of the eagle. Others, keep them over your shoulder like Prince Eric does.
Quick question. Since we're leaving the horses, are we releasing them or are we tying them up with some food?
Prince Eric, he's like, in my experiences, horses always go home if they're left alone. So, chances are good they'll head back to Teltwood. They might not get there as soon as you do if you go back, but...
That's what I was asking the party.
Yeah.
I was asking everyone, do we tie them up with some food or we release them?
He turns to you guys and he's like, you can do what you want. If you want to tie him up here, you can, but I'd let him go.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Sam, any ideas?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and tie up mine, and I did find grain, right?
Yep.
I'll, do what I can to put in front of it as much as possible to where I can easily reach it, and I'll look for a bucket of water, hopefully a decent sized one. That way, in case if I'm gone longer than a day or two.
Okay.
And we are, so question number 2, we're flying eagles, right?
Yep.
Can I, get some kind of hair gel and kind of spruce it up a little bit and ride on its back and go, Eagle!
You don't... I suppose you could try to concoct something.
That's not hair gel.
I don't know what you're referencing, but...
It's a movie.
Okay.
I'm getting the idea from Scrubs.
Never watched it. But negative inspiration die for you. I'm just gonna make you randomly roll that here in the future.
Oh, come on. It's a comedy. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Do I need a ride check or anything on this thing?
No, just like Eric said.
Hold on.
Hold on, let them do the flying.
Cool.
So, he ties up, Jack ties up his horse, leaves it well fed. Everybody else seems to go ahead and leave their horses except for Samantha. Samantha ties up her horse next to Jack just because she doesn't want them to be lonely. She's very sympathetic to these creatures. And she goes ahead and jumps up on her horse. Just then, Barnaby, little pigeon, comes flying out of the air just before Barnaby was going to mount up. And he gets a message. And he says, "Excuse me, my friends, but I must bring this quick adventure to an end. My lady desires my presence immediately." And he quick grabs his horse, throws over his saddlebags, and then he rears up his horse and he says, "Until another day!" And he waves his bullwhip and and rides off to the south to go and visit his fair lady. She apparently means more to him than the rest of you guys do. But you are now 1 eagle extra, and Prince just looks back and he's like, "Okay."
Weird friends.
Like, you do have some weird party members. But,
Weird? What do you mean weird with pants on my head?
he just looks at you, shakes his head, rolls his eyes for a moment, and then leans down, and you see him kind of reach deep into the feathers of his eagle, and he seems to almost whisper in its ear, and all of a sudden it spreads its wings, and all the eagles take suit, and they all spread their wings, and they start taking off, slowly arching through the small village, taking over above the trees, reaching high, high into the air, slowly circling around the mountain that this entire village is kind of built on the side of, and they start swinging low and just start gliding higher and higher and higher until pretty much you're almost touching the clouds at this point. All of you roll a charisma check to see if you're terrified at the heights, because this is a totally new experience for you.
It's on tightrope.
That'd be a D10.
I rolled 2 12s.
2 12s for you, okay.
Wow.
We are rolling charisma on a d20 now, so go ahead and you can go ahead and keep those 12s as per the old rules, but we are ruling. We have, as of last time, started doing d20s for charisma.
You guys, I don't make it.
Okay, of everyone in the party,
14.
everyone is perfectly fine on the Eagles. They are amazed, except for Jack in the back. He's clutching on to the eagle, nearly strangling it, which is making the eagle have a hard time keeping its flight, which is making the flight even more terrifying for Jack. He's just sitting there screaming and muttering himself, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die.
I have so much stuff to do.
There's so many people to kill.
Murder! I need murder for
Did I
this.
hear that?
But he manages to keep his mount, but he is wetting himself, nearly terrified. Not quite yet, but he's getting there.
That's like roll like 1.
If he was rolling a 1, he might have fallen off, but
I rolled a 2.
you did not fall off.
But did he wet himself?
Yes, he did. The eagle just, when he does that, the eagle just shakes himself and just pecks him in the face just from the side.
Hey, I have an extra pair of pants.
Oh,
You
on your
actually
head.
You sewed the legs up on those. You'd have to unsew them or cut them open to be able to fit your legs through. But you all finally gliding. You glide and fly for a while. Travel like this is so much faster. As you're looking down, you can see the winding path through the mountains your party would have had to take, and you're just passing it. Within minutes, you're passing hours worth of travel.
I look ahead of me. Is everyone like holding on and clutching, including guy in front?
Eric is the guy in front. He's leaning kind of up and in, kind of putting his feet onto the shoulders of the eagle. He seems to be extremely skilled riding these guys, as his previous adventuring experiences had allowed him to see much more of the world than most people have in a lifetime.
Right. Especially this form of travel.
So that's why they got there so quickly.
Yeah, he
When-
had the monks. The monks are the least, terrified of all of you. The two that traveled with him first, because he pretty much summoned the eagles right after they left town, and then just let the horses go. But
When I saw the eagles on top of the houses, I'm like, that's how we got here.
yep. I had to explain it somehow because distance does not equal travel time. I'm like, oh great, what have I done? So I'm like, quick, Lord of the Rings, help me out. But any questions? Are you gonna try to yell and say anything or whatever?
I'm gonna try to, I don't want to say copy, but get a more comfortable feel of riding the eagle.
Okay.
Like I was looking at him, seeing exactly how he was holding on, and I'm gonna try to mimic and get a little more.
Okay. Prince Eric has a really good observation of his surroundings, and upon seeing you try to, perch up, kind of like a jockey, not even really sitting on the eagle, just clutching onto its feathers and holding on to its wings with your feet, he slowly eases his eagle back towards you, and he's like, basically just balance your weight into the momentum. He's shouting this at you.
Uh-huh.
He's like, he's watching you try to do it. Roll a d20 for dexterity to see how well you can pull off the.
Well, I'm glad he's next to me.
Yeah.
He might be able to swan dive me and catch me. 15.
15. You're able to kind of get it. He shouts over. He's like, use a little bit more of the ball of your foot. Roll again to see if you can get it.
Oh, jeez, I don't think I'm gonna beat a 15, man. All right. Here we go.
Crit 20.
Nope. 20.
Okay.
All right.
Adding
10.
that one just to use the ball of your feet more. We're just using that for that. And I'm going to say you succeed for that one. 7 plus, what was your dexterity again?
4.
4? Close enough. You finally get it. You're slightly unbalanced. He sees that you're getting it, and he's like, try to see if you can keep up. And all of a sudden, he just stands up. He's not even touching the feathers of his eagle. He's just riding the wings. And he's like, bye. And he literally jumps off the edge of his eagle. He's literally free diving at this point, and his eagle starts diving after him. Are you going to try to pursue?
I'm probably not gonna jump off, but I will chase after his bird.
Okay. All right. So you're diving. The wind is literally blowing in your face.
Hard to breathe.
You're able to breathe.
Okay.
Barely, but the momentum is keeping you on your mountain. You're starting to see what he's talking about, using the balls of your feet and the momentum to ride the eagle.
Gotcha.
He's still free diving, and he's just, arms out, just kind of eyes closed, and he's getting closer and closer to the ground. Are you going to try to pull up when you think you need to?
How far away is he from me?
He's about 40 yards off to your left as you're diving. And the ground is quickly coming up on you.
Man.
Do I speak eagle?
No, you do not. I mean, he did say let the eagle do the flying.
That's exactly what was going through my mind. Let the eagle, but I was kind of taking charge on that too. If I was forcing the eagle to go down after him, I'm gonna release just a little, not like release.
You're just gonna let him. You're not pushing forward anymore. You're just letting you're just riding at this point. Okay.
Yes.
Good choice. These things are loyal beyond compare. They're worse than horses.
What goes through my mind was, it's like, I'm going down really fast, and even if this eagle stops, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna feel his bone sticking into my chest when we stop.
Yeah. That being said, as you're diving, the ground is coming up faster and faster upon you. Eric is still free falling, and just at the last moment, his eagle shoots down really fast, like literally just folds itself aerodynamically and shoots down underneath of him, and he gets back on, and the whole thing pulls up. Because it was going so much faster than you last minute, he had to pull up sooner. But as he disappears behind you, you're looking down at the ground coming up at you, and you're like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. And all of a sudden, whoosh, it just kind of catches the air and starts, you're literally riding the treetops at this point. Edging along the edge of the mountainside. And Eric, he pulls up beside me, he's like, that's the way, I like it. And quickly you glide up, using the air currents, you join the rest of your group, who are still on the edge of their seats, nearly terrified, but,
Dude,
everybody's...
I would say something more life.
Oh,
man.
How were the other monks? The other two?
The other monks are very more...
Because they've already done this before.
They have already done this, but they're not as extravagant as you. You're more of a free spirit because you came into the order from a previous life. They're very astute, very sober, just all about their purpose. Not so much into having fun.
Now, are we like single file?
Think more of a V formation.
Okay.
To cut down on, energy used to cut through the air.
I'm gonna try to get up to the side of them.
After
we get up to everyone else.
Okay. He sees you pull up. You kind of edge your eagle forward a little bit, trying to, and he ends up slowly moving forward, pulling up side of Eric, who is now just kind of literally leaning on the front of his eagle, and he's actually sitting down more at this point. He's
Had his
not
fun.
actually. He's had his fun. He's just kind of relaxing now.
No kidding. That's some serious excitement. I think I got my rush for the day.
He looks over at you and he's like, "Yeah, there's nothing quite like riding eagles."
Oh, we're falling.
He's like, "It can get pretty addictive." It wasn't many years after I met you, I actually got to travel to this island way out in the ocean. Through storms and sails and crazy monsters in the sea, I finally crash landed. Or we crashed our boat and someone on an eagle rescued me. And needless to say, I'm not exactly the most honest person. These don't belong to me. But I do have quite a nice little flock. They're always just on the horizon waiting to see if I need them.
I know we haven't seen eye to eye, but I'm glad you're okay.
He looks at you and he's like, "Yeah, I'm hoping we can say that more of a lot more people here in the future."
Yep.
And he kind of gets silent. And he says that slowly. You can tell he's worried. You do know that his village was burnt to the ground.
Yep.
And no one but he and his best friend were able to get out, and that was only because of his skills, per se, that they were able to escape at all. But he's very worried. After seeing a village left abandoned by people that hardly ever travel, yeah, he's very worried. Sam?
Yep.
Roll a d20 on your charisma again.
Checking if his pee is cold.
It's gonna be a 12.
Gonna be a 12? Okay, you have recovered your composure and you're not terrified anymore, but you're still holding on for dear life.
You're just not looking down.
You kind of hold your hat over your eyes and you're just kind of crunched up on the front of your eagle. But as the sun starts to go down in the distance, I hate my house. I absolutely hate my house.
Oh.
I gotta grab some packing tape. Give me a second, folks.
He is annoying with my house.
This is what happens when you live in Florida in a trailer house.
Yeah, my house. Once it gets winter.
Tried. Got him. No. Nope. He's trapped in there. Stupid Floridian roaches.
Yeah, once they get cold, they all start trying to come in my house.
He's under. Yep. Ready? Give me one. He's probably gonna be right here. Yes. Slippery son of a gun.
Shoe works, but you don't want to smear it in your carpet.
Nope. Hold on, cat. There's some things I really hate about Florida.
There's
Okay.
plenty to hate about Florida.
Well, it can't be the weather. Wait 5 minutes, it's changed.
I know
How
that.
you literally saw a picture like they're looking this way, it's just black clouds, but it had the picture of the rearview mirror and it's just clear.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
like, really?
So anyway, now that issues are over, as you're looking on into the sunset, you see the side of a very, very tall, very vertical mountain. It slowly rises up at the bottom, but then you can see that houses and homes and city has been built into it, kind of moving around, surrounding as it climbs up this very straight, tall mountain. And if you've ever seen some of those mountains in China that kind of seem to defy gravity because they've got, stuff hanging out and long perches reaching out into the distance, that's what the Hall of the Spirit Dragon is built on at the top, is that gravity-defying edge. And you see the city building up around the base and everything. And Prince Eric, he leans back and he's like, we'll land outside of the city, just in case. And he slowly descends, and he starts riding the treetops. And everyone else's eagles start taking suit, taking in a very low-profile approach and moving around to the dark, shadowy side underneath the shadow of the mountain. All of the eagles end up taking perches on trees, at which point Eric, because he's so lithe, just kind of jumps off of the back of the eagle and, uses some of the branches in the trees to just kind of tumble, as we should say, parkour-wise, onto the ground below. Each of you take a dexterity save to see if you can climb down the tree or jump down successfully as you decide you want to do.
I'm going to try to talk to the eagle.
Okay.
As I remember, I reach into the eagle, the side,
into the
and
feathers and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
And I try to, just by memory, and I try to talk to it.
Okay. Roll a d20.
Okay. So 16 or 19? 16?
Okay. The eagle, you're lucky. The eagle gets the idea of what you're trying to do, and the eagle literally just kind of tumbles backward, terrifies you for just a moment. Tumbles backward, you're now under the eagle, but it flaps open its wings and lands on the ground. And you're sitting on the ground, and you're like...
Wait, where are we sitting at right now?
In some trees outside of the city.
Hell, I'm going on the ground.
Okay, your eagle perched on a tree. Do you want to try doing the same thing that John did?
Do I see what he did?
Yes, you did. He reached up into the tree and tried to talk to the eagle and tried to get him to put him on the ground. Talking isn't your strong point.
It ain't, and I'm also not a monk. I'm also introvert, so this is gonna probably backfire on me.
Or are you just gonna try to climb down the tree?
Come on, Carl.
I just climbed down the tree.
Okay, roll a dexterity save.
Not talking kills people.
17 plus 12. That's...
Okay, you're able to climb down the tree just fine.
I go over to him. Did you see me? He heard me. He heard me. How'd I do that?
Prince Eric looks over at you and says, if you had grown up someplace else, you probably would have been one of the best eagle riders that they ever made. Very few people can persuade an eagle to pull off a move like that. Let alone me.
So I'm glad I didn't try it then.
No, you didn't try it. You just climbed down the tree.
I'm glad I didn't try it.
But,
Probably would me off.
people start climbing down. Sam, I'm still going to make you roll your dexterity save. Don't think you're going to get away now.
Yeah, I was really hoping. I was like, okay, just forget me.
If I be quiet, he won't hear me.
D20 plus your stat for dex. We're not going to continue until you roll it.
That's an 11.
11? Okay. Congratulations, I rolled a 4. Your tree was very low to the ground.
Awesome!
Okay. Leona?
She just rolled a 11 with... So 16.
Hers is fine too. Okay. Everyone else safely gets to the ground just fine. The trees, the eagles ended up picking up mostly trees that were very good for climbing down and stuff like that. They're very well trained eagles.
How did the monks get down?
The monks ended up just, climbing down as well.
Not jumping down?
No. You're a very free spirit compared to them.
Right.
But everyone has gotten down, and Prince Eric whispers to one of the eagles, and they all end up taking off, flying and flapping their wings off into the sky.
Am I able to hear what he says?
No, the whisper is way too quiet.
Okay.
But are you gonna try to get close when he does?
Sure.
Okay. As you step closer and the eagles are flying away, he looks back at you and says, "You know, of all the creatures that I've ever met in the world, eagles have to be some of the smartest ones. Next to humans, I should say." And he turns around and walks. He has his pack. It's kind of a bag, more of the saddlebags, but it's pretty hefty. He's got his staff. I don't remember if you remember the staff he has.
Mm-mm.
Okay, his staff is curved like an S.
I thought he used blades.
That's the thing. As he's getting ready, he takes off his regular traveling attire, and underneath you see an all black, kind of like robe with a cloak. And he pulls out a hood and everything, opens up his bag, stuffs his traveling clothes into it, and he takes his staff, hits some buttons, and twists it, and the staff literally goes into two parts. And he slides them out, and he has now two swords, curved swords. Roll a sense environment.
18.
18? Okay. You recognize one of the swords has a very intricate inlay that you recognize from the Hall of the Spirit Dragon. It used to be one of the swords that sat up on display on the podium. And now you're wondering how the heck he got it. But he sets those both aside. The other one has a very unique, drawings and whatnot on it as well, but it's different, and you've never seen this one before. But he's reaching into his pack. He disassembles the handles on each one and reaches into his pack and pulls out two others, clicks them on to the blades. He had them down to basically bare metal at that point, but he's got all kinds of weird stuff he's pulling out of his pack. He pulls out a weird leather harness that he puts on over top underneath of his cloak, and he's able to twist the swords around, and he slides them up underneath of his cloak, and the blades, the sheaths pop out behind his head ever so slightly on both sides of his cloak where his hood comes over top of, and it just completely almost hides the swords that he's carrying behind his hood and sticking out from underneath of his cloak.
I hope we have time to talk after this.
He looks over, he's like, "Oh, maybe." But anything else anyone else wants to do to get ready for, approaching into the city?
I ask him, are we going right in? Oh, actually, while he's getting ready, I'm gonna get down and meditate.
Okay. He looks down at you and he's like, I never found that to help after I left. There's some things that the Order has that are good. A lot of their skills, but that never really helped me anymore.
And some things just can't be taught.
This is true. Anyway, he packs up his stuff, tucks it underneath the branches of a very short tree, just kind of hides it back in there. He looks down and he puts on a mask and he's like, "As far as anyone else is concerned, I'm not Prince Eric. I don't belong here. I'm just a random adventurer. I don't really want to announce my presence coming back here if I don't have to. But I'm preparing for the worst just in case something bad has happened. In my experience as an adventurer, it's always better to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best."
I try to gain some insight.
Okay. Roll a d20. Is that 6?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Congratulations. I rolled a 5. You sense a very ominous aura from him. You can't tell where it's coming from, but you think
I'm
he
getting
might
that
be.
same feeling right now.
Yeah, he's expecting something, but you guys can't quite tell what it is. This entire time, there is one other member in your party that hasn't been mentioned all that much because he stayed quiet most of the time. And now he comes up, his armor clanking. Lord Ross, old Lord Ross, was a member of the party. he has been quiet because for the last few days, simply because he's not here, and he's also been contemplating, his marriage to Samantha a lot. So he's been out of character and quiet for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But both Lord Ross and Thane Ross both approach, and Lord Ross looks down at Eric. He's like, "If I didn't know any better, I could mistake you for the crow." And Prince Eric looks up at him and is like, "It's interesting where you can get some inspiration." And looks at the rest of the group. Lord Ross kind of lets it go at that point, but it seems like Lord Ross is kind of suspicious of Prince Eric and his intentions.
I feel like there's something else he's trying to get from here. Because he's already done, somehow Renly got this sword from this temple.
But as all of that is setting around, he turns to everyone else. He's like, "Anyone else need to do anything before we go in? Hopefully we just go in to find a bustling city. But if all comes to worse, we may not."
How does the town feel?
Town feels quiet from this distance, but, it's quite a ways away. There are still lights in the city.
No insight help with that?
No, not
Okay.
really. You're too far away to really... The trees are too thick. You saw some lights in the twilight, but that was pretty much it.
Any insight from Mr. Dragon?
Go ahead and roll a d20 for your meditation that you spent time doing.
8.
Okay. As you're sitting there, you slowly, just in the cloud, everything in the world seems to kind of haze out around you. And in the distance, you kind of hear a haggard breathing. As if in your previous past, you could hear the breathing of the dragon in your faint visions. But this one's time, it seems somewhat wounded. It's suffering. But that's all you could get. And it's disturbing.
Oh my gosh.
Can I help?
You just say that into your vision.
Yes.
Roll a d20 on that one.
Probably not.
Your vision, as soon as you speak, your vision hazes out, and the prince, while he's putting on his gear and everything, he turns back and he just shakes his head and keeps putting on his stuff, thinking that maybe you were talking to him, wanting to know if he needed help.
I go to the other monks.
Okay.
The other two.
Both of them are standing there, tightening up their braces and their clothes and everything.
We have a problem.
What is it?
Vision.
He's like, "You've had a vision of the dragon."
He's dying.
They both look over to Eric, and they look over to the rest of the party. "We need to go in now." And Prince Eric, he pipes up, he's like, "We have a problem?"
Yes.
He's like, what did you see?"
He's dying.
"The dragon."
Yes.
"Let's go." And he throws on his last piece of gear underneath of his cloak and starts moving very quickly through the darkness into the city.
Okay.
Everyone else moving in with him?
If not ahead.
Okay. Roll a dexterity save to see, or agility save to see how far ahead you can get.
9, 10, 11.
Okay, 11. All right. The only one who can stay ahead of you is Prince Eric, but he's keeping basically speed with you because he doesn't want to get ahead of the party. But you and the other monks, because of your stats and everything, because of the way you're built, you're able to move into the city. You don't even bother approaching from the front gate. You see the outer wall, and all of you end up making dexterity saves. The monks end up helping you, so take a +5 on dexterity to vault over the wall. Okay,
Dex 7, 10.
Alright, so all of you, one of the monks stops at the wall and puts down his fingers, and one by one, hoop, hoop, and Prince Eric, he doesn't even bother with that. He jumps up, hits the rocks, and he starts doing the kick back and forth in this one thin spot, and he vaults over the wall. You come up over the wall, and it's flat on top. There are some low-light crystals that are used to light the... They don't use torches, but these crystals that slowly absorb light during the day and release it at night in a kind of bioluminescence are used to light the city. But you come up on the wall, and everybody roll a dexterity save. Or I should... Not dexterity, a sense environment. D10.
I rolled a 5, Leon rolled an 8.
Okay. Okay. Sam, what did you roll?
That's not D10.
It's close enough.
Sorry.
Sam, are you still there? I think he's gone. I don't know whether he is or not. But Sam ends up pulling up the rear. His character's now...
How were they getting in?
Huh?
How were they getting in?
The one monk is staying behind. One of them put up a rope, and everybody's climbing the rope up over the wall.
Okay.
But as everyone slowly comes over, the prince ends up perching off of one of the small towers, balustrades, whatever you call it, and he's looking over the town, and he's like, listen. Does everyone stop to listen? You hear nothing.
Well, what time is it?
It is twilight, evening. The sun has just set down. It's a blue haze over, or a reddish purple haze over everything. The sun on this planet, though I haven't mentioned it before, is blue.
Okay.
It's a very, very small, distant sun rather than a close, deep orange. But it's a very blue, purplish twilight. And as you're listening, you hear nothing in the city.
Quick question. Is there anything that connects the dragon to our temple?
Not so much the temple as to the people.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, it's more of the people's direct connection and relationship with their deity, so-called, or their guide in the world.
Okay.
But, anything else?
Not at the moment, thank you.
Okay. But you're all listening and you hear nothing. What do you take from that? Usually the city is quite bustling and noisy even in the evening.
How big is the other monk?
The one of the two others?
Yes.
You have a well-built, hefty one and a very lithe, shorter one.
Can you carry me? I said with a dead face. Like, serious face. Can you carry me?
The big guy?
Yeah.
He's like, yes, what do you need me to carry you for?
I need to leave again.
Okay. Where are we going?
You're not going. I'm going.
Oh, okay. You're going to meditate?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to try while he's
alright.
fumbling around with me.
Okay. Alright. So as you try to meditate, this is the first time that you have ever tried to move or be carried and meditate at the same time.
Yes, I said try.
So, roll a d20, take a -5 on this one.
Okay.
This is where that dice needs to come in beautifully. Like it just did over there. Now over here it needs to come in beautifully.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Okay.
Welcome. 5.
5?
So
5.
0.
Yeah, you do not succeed. As soon as he tries to pick you up, you're
I lose it.
thrown back out of it.
Okay.
He's like, you can't do it yet. You can't.
As he carries me.
Can I actually volunteer to, like, I guess you're more worried about being left behind or just being ambushed or something.
He was trying to move with the party at the same time he meditated.
I didn't want to slow down the party or get left behind.
I can volunteer to stay behind, and as long as y'all tell me about approximately where I'm going so we can catch up. So I can watch over him while he meditates. If that's okay.
Depends on what you want to do. I mean, we're talking about this.
Take care of it if I can't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright, so take another chance, try to meditate.
Okay.
This one you're not going to have to roll for, you just go into it, but roll for a d20 on the success of how deep you can go.
2.
The stress of the situation is making it clear nigh impossible to meditate deep enough.
Right.
So basically you're thrown back out of it right away.
I tell the smaller monk, come here.
Okay. What is it?
Sit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to do like a joined meditation.
Okay.
With him.
All right. Prince Eric, he looks down at you, and you can tell he's itching, but he's trying to respect your time. He wants to move, but being a person
I already told
of
him take care of it.
He's not willing to move in without the rest of the group. So he's waiting on you. You seem to be in a bit of a safe place, so he's gonna let you try.
Okay.
Take a +5 on joint meditation.
Okay.
So roll this one. We'll see how successful and deep you can go.
Jeez.
God. Low roll after low roll. 10.
The stress of the situation is making it impossible even for him to do it. The
Okay.
stress for him is worse because he grew up in the city.
Yeah.
So it's not working. Meditation is not helping at all right now. So
I'm too emotional. I look at you. Are you emotional?
he's like, do I look emotional to you?
I know it's never worked. Give me 2 minutes.
All right, fine. And he comes and he sits down in front of you, cross-legged. Take a +10 on your attempt.
This is where he gets a crit point.
12.
Okay. Between the both of you, you both end up zoning out for a short time, and you end up standing in that cloudy, gaseous type of place. But you can see him sitting across from you, and both of you hear the haggard breathing in the background. But you can also hear something else this time, and this time you hear what sounds to be the voices of hundreds of people struggling, trying to breathe, and it's almost as though the people are dying, and that is what is making the voice of the dragon haggard and hard to breathe. But amidst all of that, one voice that you recognize from your childhood, a young lady that, though the order never really considered attachment good for one of the monks, she was one of the ladies in the village that you took a liking to, but it never really worked out between you, but you still really cared for her. You hear her call your name for just a moment, and then you lose
So
it.
now? Okay.
And you wake up from the meditation, you're sweating, it's dripping down from your face. Prince Eric is sitting there trembling across from you, and he is unsure what to do. He looks at you and he's like, that's the first time I've gone that deep. And he takes a breath and he stands up and he's like, we need to move. He throws come on, dude! Live in the moment, please! Tie you up with a rope and hang you over the porch. Okay.
I try holding it.
I'm sorry, my improv language isn't able to
Break your barriers.
break your barrier. I'm sorry. Negative inspiration dice for you.
I figured it was gonna happen, but
Okay, I'm sorry. Anywho, Prince Eric throws a rope over the edge of the wall so everyone can slide down quick, wraps his arm around it, and just slides down quick and hits the ground. Do all of you end up joining him?
As fast as I can.
Okay.
And once to the point that it's safely to jump off, I do.
Okay. You do, and Eric, or Carl, you do that as well?
yeah.
Okay. Leona, Samantha, Thane, Old Lord Ross. Old Lord Ross, he's one of those rough and tumble. He just jumps off the wall and lands on his feet.
It crossed my mind.
He rolls into a pose, and he's carrying his spear posed, ready for attack. The silence is palpable almost. you end up coming around the corner, and the street is, it looks like a crowd just plowed through the street. Windows are actually broken. Stuff has been overturned, and it's moving up towards the top of the mountain. Other than that, the village is deathly silent.
As we're running, I ask him, I hate to bring up the past, but is this anything like what you've seen before? As he's running, he's like, no, my village was burnt to the ground and people were slaughtered where they stood. These people knew they were being attacked. This is not good. And in that moment, he vaults up to the next level. He doesn't even bother running along the street. He just vaults up to the next level, imploring you guys to follow behind him. He throws down the rope again, and everyone can climb up the rope. Do you guys all want to do that? Or are you going to try running around? I'll go up to him.
Okay. Your class, you're good for rope climbing. Carl, you need to roll a agility save to climb up the rope. As well does Leona.
I rolled 2 16s.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
You're able, with the help of everyone else helping you, everyone is able to vault up and over the wall to the next level. You're now looking from the point where you landed, you're now looking up towards the first gates set of stairs to the temple. And everyone hates the stairs, but you're going to have to climb them.
How are the stairs? This way or this way?
No, they're going straight up.
Is there anything on the side?
Just statues, a railing, looking over top of more city sprawling.
No shortcut? I ask him.
He looks at you and he's like,
That way.
I always hated these stairs. And he just starts running up the stairs. Because of your individual ability, Carl, Leona, and Samantha end up taking up the rear along with Sam. I don't know if he's still here or not. But that being said, you all finally come running up the stairs into the courtyard, and Eric is the first one to the top, and he just stops dead in his tracks at the top.
As I go to the last step, I grab out my staff.
Okay. You have your staff ready. Both of the other monks have staves out. And you stop just short of the top step as you see a drip of blood roll off the top step.
Do I
Onto
see
the
the
second
pull out
step.
the weapons?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw my weapon too.
Your rapier?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to keep your bandolier of vials ready?
I always would think they'd be always ready, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Do you want to? Could you mention now what you have stocked in there? You have it in your stock. What do you actually have? You have about 6 slots here that you don't need to action to. You can just throw it quick.
Oh well, I probably would have a smoke.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna, like, do I see? We're kind of like I can like mess around with it real quick.
While you were running, you were able to do it.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna throw a little explosion, some fire. It's 2 smoke, light, and a poison.
Okay.
Let's throw
So you have
another explosion. So 2
okay.
explosions.
So 2 explosions and then one of
Actually,
everything else.
1 explosion. Do all that and then have my 1. I actually need to mix together another holy light just in case. Even though I have that background, but even though I think it's not, I'm still gonna be cautious.
Okay. All right. So as you crest the top step, Prince Eric has started slowly walking forward, and as you see over the edge of the step, there are hundreds of bodies, women, children, men. Everyone has been ruthlessly slaughtered. And the courtyard is deadly quiet except for maybe 1 or 2 small birds of prey picking over the bodies. They've been sitting there like this at least a few hours. Flies are buzzing, but it's still fresh enough that the blood is still dripping.
They can't be saved.
No. No one's still alive.
No, I say that.
Oh, okay.
Like those come from my character's lips.
All right, and Prince Eric, he kind of he gives out. He falls to his knees, and he's literally sitting in a puddle of blood as he's looking down at the body of a boy, probably about his age when his village was attacked. And he, at this point, he had both of his swords out, but
they're on the ground.
He just for a moment, he looks like he could drop them, but then he squeezes one handle so hard you think you might splinter the wood.
And is it the one from this temple?
It is, yes. He's squeezing it, and as he does that, you notice he's always had these scars along the side of his face, and in sparring matches, when he's had his shirt off, you could see scars that kind of branched out along his veins and stuff, down his right arm, leg, and along his neck and face. And this is the first time you've seen them pronounced this much in the light, and when he squeezes hard, down at his fingertips, they start glowing blue. And it starts getting brighter and brighter, and it starts reaching up underneath of his clothes. You start seeing the scars along the side of his neck, and his eye, his right eye, starts glowing blue. And he bends over just for a moment, and then in one quick minute, everybody roll a dexterity save.
Should have said I scooped back a little bit. I was thinking about it. I was like, no, he's on a roll. I gotta let him storytell. 13.
Okay. What'd you get?
I got a 3-4 and she got a 12.
Okay. Alright, so you guys are far enough back that you don't get hit. But in that one moment where it's starting to build, electricity, this is the first time in this world you don't really think about electricity as more than lightning. But you see lightning arching along his body, and in one moment he bends over and he just rips open, screaming into the sky, and there is a shockwave of electricity that knocks you and the short monk back on the ground. The big heavy monk bends over and takes the blunt of the blow without getting hit, but you end up taking 4 damage from the lightning, and you're slightly shocked at the moment. But he stands up and he turns around and he's holding both of his swords, not forward now, but he flips them upside down, and you see the electricity ends up arching along the blade. And he starts looking around. He's like, I can hear you. And in that one moment, a whole horizon of the temple, all of a sudden these shadowy figures start appearing along the shelves, or along the rooftops, through the doors. Carl, you remember this from the time that you were ambushed in the great arena, when you and Thane were competing in the final rounds.
Okay.
And they're the same assassins.
So this is the Black Crow.
Yes, this is the Crow's Fist Guild. Not necessarily the Black Crow, but this is their guild. So there are about 34 of them altogether.
Holy shit.
Hey, I'm gonna take a pause here. I'm gonna go level up. I mean, I'm walking around with level 4 here. I'm
just level 79 here, afraid.
In that moment, about 20 of them jump down into the main courtyard.
Kind of like, I wouldn't say holler, but say to I forgot his name.
Prince Eric.
Eric, like, should we be running, or do I need to cause a distraction?
He turns.
This is time to fight.
I can toss the smoke.
He turns around to you and he's like, "We just ran all the way here. This just got fun." And in the one quick moment, you know how in anime characters will just shoot forward all of a sudden? His character just boom forward, and the assassins, they went for their knives and everything, but in one swift movement, 7 of them are cut in half, and 3 others end up getting struck by an arch of lightning, and they're just disintegrated in one move as Prince Eric just rips through a bunch of them. You have never seen Eric move like this in your life.
What's Ross doing?
Ross is still behind Old Lord Ross is looking, watching all the edges. He's looking for his target. He's here for the crow. Thane, he's built up. He's tanking up in front of the group because that's his role. He basically sits there and tries to protect everybody.
I look at the old Ross.
It's like, he notices you looking at him, and he's like, "What is it, boy?"
There's not just one target. There's 37. Just remember.
He's like, "You got a point." And he quick reaches back behind his back, pulls out his shield, and he's got the shield, and he pulls it, and all these blades end up sliding out around the edge of his shield, and he rests his spear in between them, and he tanks up in front of the group. Prince Eric is on such a rampage. A bunch of the assassins run off chasing him, and they end up, in the first initial attack, he was able to surprise them, but now they're on their guard, and they're running around the rooftops and end up running off into the distance.
Big guy, throw me.
Okay? Big guy, he grabs you around the neck, and he's like, "Where do you want to go?"
No more than 3.
And he looks off to the side, and he sees 3 guys up on a roof, and he grabs and throws you, and you're flying through the air. Roll an agility save to see if you're able to grab a hold of the top of the roof.
20.
Crit 20.
You're flying through the air, and not only are you flying far enough, but you see that your trajectory is going perfect to hit 2 attacks on 2 assassins sitting up there. You have the opportunity. Take your crit 20 and roll extra damage on another d20 for the attack.
15.
15.
Wait, to my strength?
Yes.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Okay, 23 total. As you come up flying through the air, you twist through the air, you plant your hand on the roof, and you do a perfect split kick both directions, landing in the jaw of both of the assassins, knocking them off the roof. One falls to the ground and breaks his neck, falling across, a stone shelf. The other one slides back off the roof and falls off the edge of the mountain. As you roll back over, you're now perched on the roof. You only have one assailant to deal with you. Everybody roll initiative at this point.
Dang.
Roll a d12.
Oh, d12. Okay.
Yep, d12s for initiative.
You have 12 saved already. You have 2 12 saved. One for her and one for you.
That was...
If that's honored.
No, he went ahead and not actually used my 12 for that.
Okay.
It was pretty much, it was technically a crit 20.
Okay.
So.
At that point.
But you'll need to roll a d12 as well.
Okay, I rolled a 4, she rolled a 12. Leona's gonna save up action points.
Okay.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. Alright, so we have a total of 37. 20 of them are already dealt with Prince Eric, and they're dealing over there. He already killed half of them. The other 10 are fighting him on the other edge of the temple.
Okay.
He basically used his danger to basically draw away enough so that you guys could handle the rest, and you already took out 2. So congratulations.
Yeah,
you only have 8 left to deal with.
15.
37 minus 20, 17 minus 2. You're right, 15. Thank you. Okay, so you're dealing with 15. You got 5 on the roof over here. You've only got 1 left on the roof here, and you have 10 more scattered across the Maiden Temple who are now running to jump off into the courtyard. They don't make it, before your actions, they don't make it much more than down into the courtyard with their weapons out ready to attack you.
I'm going to use my super skill to allow...
Okay. What does that one do again?
I roll my d4 to allow and give more action points to a given player.
Okay, go ahead.
I can give 4 action points.
Okay, who would you like to give them to?
Can I disperse them out too?
You may, yes.
Okay, I'm going to actually... Ooh. Man. It's actually kind of hard. I think I
You have Lord Ross, you have Thane, Samantha, and Leona are your healers, which probably will not need them.
Yeah, Leona's already building up hers right now.
You have 2 monks on the ground with you, and you have John up on the hill.
I'm gonna give him an action point.
Okay. Alright, you get an inspiration from Carl. He whips out his sword and stands there, holding a vial of flaming potion in one hand and his sword. And just out of the corner of your eye, you see him, and you're like, dang, we're awesome.
I mean, come on, I just took out 2 guys. Oh, gosh, Edward's doing his shit. Jeez, sorry, watch my language.
I'm actually going to give myself 2 points.
Okay.
I'm going to give Old Ross a point.
Okay. Alright. Old Ross is first, and he jumps out in front of the party right next to Thane, and he's defending. That's all he's doing. He's standing there ready to defend against the onslaught. You're going to hit after the guy that's on the roof with you hits.
Okay.
The guy's going to whip out a knife, and he's going to go for a jugular slice.
Okay.
Roll a dexterity save on that one.
Quick question. How's poison work?
Poison works is basically, if it's poison, we will roll another d10 off to the side, and that's how much extra damage, and you'll have to roll a vitality save. Basically, your base vitality value.
Is there death poison? Or is there, like,
no,
only poison?
Poison will just slowly eat away at your health.
Cool. Just making sure.
Yep. But he goes in, he's close range fighter, but he goes in with the knife. Go ahead and roll for your dexterity.
I like my throat. Dex is 7.
Okay. He rolled low enough, and it's close range. You're actually able to push it aside in the one moment. Now you have advantage of the moment.
Okay.
Okay? Goes to you.
Okay.
You have 2 action points you can use.
I use them.
Okay. You gonna describe your attack at all?
Maybe this is a good time, send someone's nose into their skull.
No, I need someone with a shield for that. Hey Ross, throw me your shield. No, I'm kidding. That thing's made out of blades.
That's old Ross's shield made out of
I keep forgetting there's 2 Ross.
There's 2 Ross.
When I say Ross, it's gonna be the old Ross, and I'll say
for the young guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta finish this up quick here.
I know, no kidding. How does grapple work?
Grapple, basically, you roll for the attack, and if you're successful in the attack, you can grapple and then do what you want with them, and they will have to roll a d10 to negative any saves for dexterity or defense after that.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a grapple throw.
Okay, so as he's moving in for that jab to your jugular...
You know what? I'll just use his momentum if I can, if that's okay.
Yep. That's what I was going to do with it.
Okay.
The knife, you're able to barely grab a hold of the wrist as the knife is coming for your throat and move it along. You end up taking that momentum, reaching around and grabbing his shoulder and trying to throw him.
Right.
Probably go ahead and roll for the attack.
Towards where the cliff the other guy went.
Okay.
Total 17 plus.
19.
Okay. And he is successfully grappled. After that, go ahead and roll for your next attack. However you're going to do it. You said you're going to try to throw him?
Yes.
Okay. Roll for an agility check on that one. Do d20. And he will have to, now that he's grappled, he will take a d10. Oh, boy. Oh, wait, wrong one. Go ahead and roll.
Okay. I'm doing agility?
Yep.
They're almost guaranteed.
17, 18, 19.
Okay, so in that one moment, he's totally taken by surprise. He's used to fighting people that are trying to punch him. Most of the monks here fought with punches and kicks and trying to beat you down. Your total fighting style has totally taken him by surprise, and his weight has been completely thrown. He goes flying towards the edge of the roof, towards the mountain below where his comrade just went. He totally fails his saving throw on dexterity, slides off the roof, and you can hear him scream as he tumbles off the edge of the mountain. You are now alone on the top of the roof.
Now, when I was fighting him, did anything seem similar?
No, nothing seemed familiar to you much at all.
I don't even think I was writing my super skill down on my digital form.
Out of game, I was making sure that he was not a friend.
Okay.
He was being controlled in any way.
Didn't seem like he was familiar or anything like that at all.
Okay.
Okay. Are you going to try to go negative on your action points at all to do anything else? Because you gained +2. Technically, you gained 1, so you have 1 more action before you would go negative.
Okay. I'm going to take in the room. I'm going to see where I am needed.
Okay. In the short moment you can look around, you see the 10 rushing from the one side and the 5 on the other side of the roof, rushing the courtyard. The ones on one, or I should say about 3 of the other ones on the roof are pulling out small bows or crossbows, and they're loading them, getting ready to shoot down into the courtyard.
Is Sam here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I need that crossbow soon.
I was waiting on it.
Okay. Sam is actually next after you.
Okay, I'm holding action.
Okay, so you're going to hold the action, you're going to save your point. Okay, so now we're going to come... What was your roll again?
Oh, I'm 4. I'm
4? Okay, you and Sam, you come before Sam, so you now have action at this moment.
Oh. Okay, so I'm sitting at 2 or do you start off with like
You're sitting
1?
at 2. Yes, you start out with 1, you gain yourself 2.
I gave myself 2, have 3.
Okay, so you are at 0 actually.
Okay.
You're the one that got 2. So you have 3 action points you can take.
Okay. So, like, how... you said there's 10 rushing at us, or...?
Yes, there's 10 rushing straight at you. They're about 30 yards away. It will take next turn for them to get into contact with you before they can start attacking.
Okay, I'm not gonna use my action points, actually.
Okay, you're gonna hold? Okay. In that case, it goes on to Sam.
Alright, load a crossbow with fire arrow and look at the 10 people rushing towards us. And I'm not aiming for the people themselves, I'm aiming for the ground that they're running on.
Okay, you're talking about the explosive arrows that you have, right?
Correct.
Okay, in that case, go ahead and roll for your ranged aim.
Yep, should be a D20.
Yep.
That's a natural 20 on the die.
Okay. Oh my word, you guys are doing good. Jack cocks the crossbow, pulls out one of those lovely leather-bound explosive arrows, rests it on the shoulder of the short monk, and pulls the trigger, just aiming at the ground. In that one split moment, the monks just start to part, thinking that the arrow's going for them, but it hits the ground right in front of the party, and in that moment, it just rips a hole in the group. 5 of them are completely decimated. 1 is thrown against one of the houses, and the other
That's why they're
3
running.
are running around the sides. 1 is coming in from the left by himself next to you, John, and the other 2 are regrouping to the guys on the other roof.
I'm on the roof. Oh, there are people coming towards me?
So, you're up on the roof over here. Everybody's over here in the courtyard. There's 5 up here with their bows and arrows and everything. And then there's 2. When the explosion occurred in the middle, the 2 came running around this side underneath so that they can stay close to their companions.
Okay.
So, anything else from you, Jack?
I go in the defensive at this point.
Alright, so you will be -2 at this point, since you had to load the crossbow and fire it. So,
Yep.
You're going to be -1, so since you didn't get any action points from Carl. So sad.
Yep.
No, you're good.
Did you say monk? So can I see their faces?
No, they all wear masks and hoods.
But I can tell by their fighting style that they're monks?
Oh, did I call them monks?
Yes.
It was bad. I meant assassins. No, they're not monks.
Okay.
Assassins.
All I heard was assassins. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
they all have butt faces.
I always have that fear.
Oh, that there's someone friendly?
Yes,
They're not
and they're being
friendly at all.
controlled. I always had that like in the back of my hand, like for my whole life.
No. Alright, so then it goes to the assassins up on the roof. They took their time waiting to see what would happen, but 4 of them end up pulling back bows. They see, Carl, you in your flashing outfit. They think that you might be one of the leader of the party, and so 3 of them are going to shoot at you.
Okay.
Roll a dexterity save 3 times.
So, okay, actually gotta add my, so 14 plus 17, that is 31. 6, 17, 22. And then 29.
Okay. Unfortunately, because they are mostly ranged combat assassins, all 3 of them hit.
Ow!
Yes. Go ahead.
Quick question. Ross's ability. What exactly is he shielding from?
Ross was shielding from the guys in the front, but when that arrow kind of hit, it kind of redirected the traffic, and so now they're coming in from the sides.
Okay. I was curious on which angle he was guarding.
He was guarding front, which now he's going to have to move to the side to kind of protect.
Okay.
He's guarding the side that you're on. Old Lord Ross is guarding the side that the 5 assassins and such are on.
Okay.
But rolling damage for those 3, you're going to take...
I do have 50% piercing resistance.
Okay, so you cut piercing by half. So you'll take 8 on one shot. You'll take 16 on the other.
16
plus 8. 32 total.
8 plus 16? That's...
There's 3 different attacks coming through. All 3 of them hit. They're being halved. One you took 8, and one you took 16. The other one is a natural 20, and so it will not be halved. Let's see here.
8 plus 16.
Alright, one of them comes flying through the air and slices you not only through your wrist, where where the cloak doesn't really protect you, but it also stabs in under your belt, right through the folds of your jacket, and you are now pinned in 2 spots. You're going to end up taking about 40 damage from that one, since it wasn't half.
Holy.
So 40 plus 32, you're at 72 total
16
damage.
plus 8 is not 32.
16 plus 8.
16 and 16 is 32.
16, 16. Okay, 24. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't math right now.
I can't either.
30, that's 54, so that's... I'm actually...
But I remember 16 is 32. That's not really math, that's just memorization.
Okay. Also, because it hit your right hand, you've dropped your rapier.
Rapier's on the floor.
Yes. Alright, so you literally have an arrow pinned through 2 parts of you, and you're...
So pretty much my
bent
hand will be
over.
like this.
Yeah, pretty much. You're just bent over.
Where's your wife at? Man.
But, yeah, you took some pretty heavy hits from those.
No kidding.
The other 2 assassins on the roof, they're going ahead and jump down. One of them pulls out 2 knives, and he's going to rush in. And he's coming in for Jack. He's going to attack you just because you look stupid and you blew up a bunch of his friends. But are you still there to roll your saves?
Yep.
Okay. He's going to come in with 2 attacks. Since he's dual wielding, he gets 2 for 1 action point.
Yep.
Roll a dexterity save on that.
That's going to be 8.
8? Okay. Unfortunately, both attacks hit. You're going to take a total of 32 damage.
He's almost dead.
Ouch!
So, as he's coming, rushing in towards you, he's able to get past Lord Ross because of the positioning. And he comes in quick with a quick jab underneath your shirt, and then another jab across your throat. It doesn't go deep enough to do bad damage, but you are definitely hurt.
How much health does he actually have?
Is it a... Quick question. Is quick speech able to be...
Yeah, you can say something quick if you want. That should be doable in the amount of time that the action's taking.
Do you see the jester hat? What is wrong with you?
Alright, so he's sitting there up close and personal to you after he just took the attack, and he's like, yeah, I don't like the hat. and one quick movement, as a bonus action for you talking, he quick flips the blade around and slices the belt on the front, and the hat falls down over top of your eyes.
Oh,
You are now blind.
monster.
That being said, Lord Ross is now going to come to him. The other one just jumped down and he joined his friends, but Lord Ross is going to come to him, and seeing that Jack is being attacked, he's going to flip his spear around and he's going to do a quick, what are they? A phalanx jab at him, and yeah, he totally misses. Old Lord Ross totally misses the attack. And the assassin just kind of duck dodges and spins around. And just to drive it home even more, in the reflex, since he was so close and taking the reflexive dodge, he spins around and knocks Jack off his feet.
You guys are monsters.
Hey, you can still shoot on the ground, can't you?
He did not reload his crossbow, but had he reloaded his crossbow, it would have gone off. But Lord Ross, now that he's got the guy's attention, he's going in for more jabs. He's just kind of advancing forward with his phalanx shield, and he's trying and trying, but he's utterly failing. The assassin is built more like a ninja, and he's just dodging every attack. And one of them, he actually gets to try to react to it. He hits, and he chops the end of Lord Ross's spear off with his knife.
Course, like, hey, Lord Ross, 2, 5, 3.
How loud is my
Assassin.
voice
12.
during battle?
It's fairly loud. You can't quite react to this moment.
Okay.
Because in the amount of time that you were, fighting, some of this is going on.
Okay.
It's how time is simulated. But you're still, basically, you're at this point, you're grappling that one ninja and throwing him off the roof.
Okay. Whenever I get the available time, I yell, pinch.
Okay. In that case, it's going to go to Thane, who's going to move around. He's going to go ahead and charge the ninja assassin, whatever, on his side, between you and him. He's going to try to pin him to the wall with his shield.
That works too.
Rolls a 7, and I don't... You have his sheet, right? What is his dexterity, or what's his agility?
I have to actually bring it up.
Yeah,
Might be a little bit.
7 minutes?
I got 7 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to try to wrap it up as fast as possible.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
you're
guys.
perfectly good. It's great
Agility
having
is
you.
5.
Agility is 5? Okay, and he rolled that. Yeah, he totally misses. The ninja dodges to the side, and Thane Ross goes tumbling forward onto the ground and bumps into the building. He tries and turning to slice his sword as he twists on by and misses profusely. He falls back into the building. That flank is completely left open now. Now have 2 monks on that side, which are going to try to gang up on the guy. Actually, no, it's just the one short monk. But he gets to come in, and he actually lands his first blow. And he's able to get in. He's able to jump up through the air, lithe and small as he is, and he does a drop kick, and he breaks the guy's knee. The guy is now sitting down on the ground with just his knife, his knee literally bent inside, as the lithe little guy tries to drive it home with one more punch, and he actually hits now that the guy's leg is broken and he can't move as well. Dealing enough damage to knock him back on the ground, but not enough to really hurt him. He goes in for one more punch, and this time he definitely hits and drives
Concrete
home
to fist.
one more concrete to fist, bludgeoning damage. The guy is still going, but in that close range, the assassin's able to take one more swipe at him. He's not really worse for wear beyond the leg, but he misses the attack to swipe at him with the knife to get him to back off. It comes back to the big hulking guy.
The monk.
The big monk. About this time is when you yell, "Pinch!" And the big
Little
monk, the big monk, he's like, he thinks for a moment, he thinks that you're trying to get throwing Lord Ross and him on both sides of the little guy, of the one ninja that was Lord Ross got his spear cut with, and he gets around, he moves in behind, and he tries to do an attack, but the guy is just too thin, and he just dodges out of the way. The second attack, he jumps forward and tries to kind of Superman punch him, and lands the hit.
Pinch works, man. I gotta tell you.
He does 13 damage and pounds the guy forward. I don't know what the heck.
I'm just gonna take the role as commander. Don't mind me, just level 4 commander here.
Weird. Give me.
I want to use a smoke, but I feel like that might just advance
Hinder.
assassins.
Hey, I bet they love smoke.
Yeah, I know.
But you got the guys up on the roof now. It kind of rotates around now, and it comes back to you. You're gonna have the top of the round now.
Top of the round?
Yeah, top of the round.
I have points again. I have 2 people underneath me, correct?
Yes, one of them's an ally, one of them's an enemy.
Do I notice they notice me? Do I notice
they know you're up there? Yeah, they know that you're up there.
And they're not fighting each other, or they are?
Yeah, it's the live little guy that broke the one assassin's leg. That one assassin is sitting there on the ground with his leg broken under.
Okay, I literally thought
there
the
any
assassin was just messing up this little guy. I'm like, oh man, this poor guy.
No, it's the little guy was messing up the assassin.
Okay.
Don't mess with monks, man. Is there any large boulders, rocks, bricks?
Besides yourself, no.
Oh, dang. On a ledge with no rocks.
You're on a roof. So.
What's the roof made out of?
Roof is made out of slate. Slate shingles. They're heavy, but they're not going to do that much damage.
How high am I?
You're about 20 feet in the air.
I'm gonna do some damage.
Okay, you're going to reach down and grab some slates? Okay.
The guy laying on the ground.
Okay. Alright, in that one moment, you go ahead and roll for the ranged precision, so you have 0 on that, so you literally roll the dice. The guy does take a negative, though.
Being on the ground and all.
Being on the ground.
15.
15. Okay, he's sitting there and he's dealing with the guy, but just at the last second, he looks up to see a piece of black shingle flying through the air and thunk in the side of his face. His eye has been knocked out of its socket. Roll for damage.
Oh.
Beautiful.
18, 19, 20.
It's knocking the eye out of his socket. He's sitting there dangling, and in that one moment, you just decided to drop one more, and it hits him on the back of the head. He's just completely knocked out, cold on the ground, mangled body just sitting there.
Good work.
The guy looks at you, looks at the body, mangled. This is the first time he's seen a body looking quite like this, and he turns around to help everybody else.
Better him than you.
And he just shakes his head for a second. The outsider who has... He's just so cruel. These monks, they know how to defend themselves, but they really don't ever try to maul anybody.
Yep.
But that being said, I think you're going to have to get out of here. But I think we might be able to have the rest of the fight wrapped up.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to take that last turn. Look at that, 9:30 on the dot.
Okay.
Hey guys, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Awesome, awesome, man.
Hey, I've been listening to Critical Role every week. My DMing has gotten exponentially better since
It's been
then.
leveled up.
Anyway,
Alright guys.
hopefully you can come back next week.
Yeah, same.
Anywho, so Sam, you still with us?
It finally came out.
Please, dear. I hope.
I was sitting there like, every time I talk, I'm like, it's gonna come out?
Sneeze. Okay, so moving back around, we're getting to where are we at? After John goes, Jack is blind and stuck on the ground, so he really can't do anything. Been knocked down. At least you're still here, making sure of that. But it'll come back around to you. You can't do anything because your wrist has been pinned to your abdomen. Leona is actually going to come up and try to deal with that.
Okay.
What kind of healing abilities does she have again? I don't keep her sheet in front of me.
Okie dokie. Okay, I'm like, wait, where did they all go? Okay, so she does have group recovery.
Okay. Group recovery is more kind of like a triage, gaining health for everybody. I think this is going to be you needing a little bit more direct attention.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Hey. Quick question.
Yeah.
Would more of this killing be hurting the dragon?
No.
Okay.
You're good there.
Just asking. I was in the car. I was like, blood. It's probably not too good for all the killing to be at this temple here.
You don't want to be late for work, dude.
I got 30 minutes. I got my car. I got my shirt in my car.
Okay. All right.
Okay, but
she does have like a one-on-one healing situation, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because of the piercing damage and the arrow is embedded in you, it's gonna also deal damage coming back out. But she comes up behind you. She leans you back. And she sees that your wrist is literally pinned to your body. And she's like, only you. And she reaches down. You're resting on her knee at this point. And she reaches down and snaps the arrow above your wrist and pulls your wrist out of it. And quickly starts wrapping it up, putting some of her medicine on it and wrapping it in a bandage. In that moment, trying to stop the bleeding. Take 2 supply off for her 1 healing ability. And roll a knowledge check for her on the effect of that healing.
A 12 with a knowledge of 30.
Okay, so since you were bleeding, we're gonna go ahead and do 38. 38 instead. It's gonna be negative just a little bit. But yeah, go ahead and reheal 38 for yourself on that one, since most of the arrow's damage was done to the wrist. Before it actually pierced in, it's not going too much. But now she's looking down at your abdomen. She has to rip open the bottom of your coat and everything to get in at the arrow. And she sees that it's in there a good ways, but it's not poking out the back. So she has to pull it back out. And because it's not in your coat, she can't just pull on the coat to just pull it out. She actually has to pull the arrow out. So she literally takes the back end of the arrow, sticks it in your mouth, and she says, "Bite." And she sits there and she pulls the arrow out of you right then and there. Roll a percentage die. Roll a percentage with 2 d10s.
Oh man. Oh no.
What'd you get? 5%. Okay. Unfortunately, the pain of the arrow coming back out was worse than the quick, sharp pain of it going in. You black out from the pain of the arrow being pulled out. But she does continue to do healing. She works on it for 2 action points. Go ahead and roll knowledge for both of those.
1 and her 30, but
31.
and then 17 plus 30, that's 47.
Okay, 47. That should put you to
Base,
full
and
again.
also it should be base plus 10.
Okay. That should put you to full again.
Yeah, I'm already at 100.
But you're still unconscious and you're bleeding. She was only able to wrap up the wounds. It doesn't stop the bleeding right away.
Does she not have a... I have the cure status bleeding.
Yeah, you have it, but she doesn't. She could try to use your fire potion to do the cure status bleeding like you do, but she would have to take a half on the attempt.
No.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. That being said, we move past you, and Thane, he's
I
already
do lose
negative.
my action points, do I?
Yes, you do.
Come on!
Yeah, you lost those completely because you're out cold.
Rip.
But now the assassins are moving in. One of them comes in from the side, the one that saved his actions last turn, and he's going to attack Thane or Old Ross from the side. Old Ross sees it coming, and his armor ends up, he just repositions just a little bit and redeflects the blow. And in that one moment, he ends up going ahead and swinging back with his shoulder, knocking the assassin off kilter, and he lands in front of the group. The big hulking monk, the big guy, he sees it off to the side. I'm trying to think of where everyone's positioned. Barnaby's gone. We need more representation on the battlefield, honestly. John, since it comes back to John at this point, John's gonna go ahead. Oh no, he doesn't. He was at the top of the round. Leona's actually gonna take a moment, seeing that he's knocked down, pull out her crossbow and shoot. She's gonna go total -4 on this one.
Oh dang.
But she shoots. Melee precision, because the guy knocked down does connect.
Okay.
What's the base damage on the crossbow?
What was it?
I think it was like 10, wasn't it?
It was like 10 or 20.
Okay. She shoots him and is able to hit him in the side of the neck, dealing 23 damage. And he's sitting there now bleeding out because of the arrow slicing through his throat, and it shot off to the other side. But she drops the crossbow now, and she continues to pay attention to you. Samantha ends up getting down and helping him out, and she motions to Leona, "Go ahead and keep fighting. I can help with this."
With me?
No, with
Oh.
you. Yeah, she's going to take care of you. So Leona, since she has more offensive abilities passively, she can get up and join the fight.
Even though
since
she's
there's
-4 now. But
yeah, she is. But then Assassin over on the ground with his leg broken has no action points. John and that little...
he's knocked out though.
yeah, he's out cold. The little live guy sees... The little live monk, he sees that the guy just got shot in the side of the neck, and he's going to jump over and try to do a jumping kick when he lands to kind of move and attack at the same time to save an action point. He throws it, but he completely misses the landing, but he goes ahead and uses the momentum to move forward and connects. He does 1 damage. It's not quite enough. The guy, he just... The momentum of the move was not quite enough to go ahead and move it forward. But then there's another barrage of arrows coming off the roof. They see that Samantha is trying to help with the wounds now, and they target her. 1 hits, 2 hits, 1 crits.
Of course.
Oh boy.
Can we not kill her?
I'm trying not to. First one hits and just skims her shoulder, dealing 6 damage. The second one hits and pins her in the shoulder, dealing 30. And
How much
then
health does she have?
the critical only hits for about 17. But it does reduce her actions and availability by 1 because her shoulder is so damaged because of the angle they're shooting her at. They're basically hitting her in the shoulder, and her actions...
We need to get rid of
she's
the
down.
archery, but I can't say anything.
Yeah. That being said, moving past those 3 guys, the other 2 assassins... There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 total. Yeah, that's right. Because we already took care of 1, 2, 3. 5 out in the field are down. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's all 15. I'm trying to keep track of all of these mentally. But there's 4 now up on the roof. 1 of them jumped down. The one dueling Lord Ross is going to go in for 1 more attack, and he completely misses. But with everybody so negative, the only ones that can really do anything are the archers. Except for John, who, when it comes back to the top of the round, he's going to jump off the roof, and he's going to land on the guy who's unconscious, and definitely going to hit and deal some more damage, kind of cushion the fall and deal some more damage at the same time. He's going to run across and try to attack that little guy, the guy that the little one was attacking, to try to get him out of the picture. The attack really doesn't miss as he's running by because of the angle he's trying to hit from. But the second one he does goes ahead and comes through, and he just lands 1 more good punch, but nothing worth actually talking about. The guy who got shot by Leona is still sitting there bleeding. Comes to this point in the round, he's going to bleed, and actually he's going to bleed out enough to kill him.
Okay.
So no one really notices it at this point, but he's dead. Jack is now sitting there. Thane is able to recover and move forward and join his father. Now that action points have come around. While he's doing it, the archers on the roof see that it's occurring, and they take some shots at him. One of them hits, but the other two bounce off. The one that hits deals 25 damage. If you could keep track of that, that would be great. Hey, Thane! You're here, but you're not in Discord. It's sad. I'm trying to play for you.
Yeah, and I'm controlling your character stats right now. I have 3 sheets up in front of me.
But as he's moving forward, you have Leona, Thane, and you in front of you. This is what happens when no one shows up for game night. Yeah, that came through. When did that come through? It doesn't have a timestamp on it. Oh. Anyway, so the archers end up wasting a couple shots. They end up bouncing off of Thane's shield, and he ends up being able to get up and join his father, who is now without a weapon.
That's right.
He goes ahead and he's got the spear without the head, but he's also got the shield with the blades on it. And so instead of fighting long range now with the spear, he goes ahead and tosses it. Oh, that one's not live anymore. Never mind. He tosses it to the side, and he gets in, switches hands, and he decides to use the spear as an offensive weapon. Gets in close to that one assassin that got hit by the big hulking monk. And he definitely hits his attack. Doubles it and goes in for a nice big 25 damage. That is going to be enough to kill the assassin. So he's down, and now you just have to deal with the guys on top of the roof. So one more volley of arrows, I believe, if I'm tracking this properly in my head, is going to come down. One of them misses Samantha. One of them hits Thane.
Okay, I was about to say.
But only deals about 17 damage.
To his Thane?
Yeah, it just grazes his shoulder and his neck. And then the last one misses Samantha again. Woo! These guys, they're trying too hastily with their shots, and so they're not actually able to land most of it. But that being the rounds and everything, that's going to bring you back around. Samantha's going to go ahead and try to revive you to consciousness.
Please?
She fails.
Oh, man.
She continues to try past everything else, and she succeeds finally.
Okay.
And you wake
I'm so
up.
upset that I had like literally 4 action points I was about to use.
Yeah.
And then you said
So you finally wake up, you're staring up into Samantha's face instead of Leona's as usual. Worries you for just a minute what happened to Leona.
Do I actually see her?
You gonna sit up or try to stand up or anything?
Am I knowledgeable that I was kind of pretty injured, so I think I'm just gonna at least just take a quick look around.
Okay, so you can take an action to move, take a quick look. You see that you're bandaged up, and you seem to have received enough medical attention short term to be able to rejoin the fight.
Okay.
So, but that's one action point to do that. In looking around, you do see Leona sitting here loading her other crossbow, and she's about to take some shots.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, I don't have any action point.
Well, okay. I'm just making sure. Leona is going to go ahead and take a shot with her crossbow again. She aims for one of the guys on the roof and misses. Or, actually, why am I rolling for that?
Yeah, but say.
You roll for that. I roll for a dexterity save.
Well, I rolled a 5, so.
A 5? Well, that misses. She has has another shot though, since she's dual wielding the other one.
11.
11. That one will also not hit.
Okay.
So she misses both of those. It's only one action point.
Take away the. Here, actually, I gotta start getting rid of bolts.
Yeah. Need to do that. That's 3 so far.
Okay.
Pardon me. But let's see here. Where are we now? I should actually start keeping a paper of this stuff. Let's see here. It's you.
Yeah, it's saying that we're going up, but like it's like 15, 20. It's another 20 when we're distracted on the other guy.
Yeah. So now you're down to 5, 6. You're down to 6 basically, with one unconscious in the corner.
Okay. Ooh.
So the guy who's been sitting here on the floor this entire time, not doing anything much, he was just sitting there observing most of the fight. He's actually got 4 action points saved up.
Who's that?
There was 1 more on the ground. There are 3 on the ground, and
Of course.
no, there was 2 on the ground. How many do we have right now? I thought there were 10 total.
Like our party?
No, I'm thinking of the enemies. I need to track these better.
Yeah, there was 37 in total. 20 of them ran off with the other guy, trying to fight him, and then we had 17 to deal with.
Okay. 17, you took out 1, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The fire or the explosives arrow took out a chunk of them, right?
Yeah, actually it took out 6 of them. 1's unconscious in the corner, that's what it was. That's what the other one is. So, yeah, you have a total of 17 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you should have, how many left? 17 minus 6 is 11. 5 on the roof. 1, 2, 3. I think I've lost 4 on the roof.
You said 1 jumped down.
1, 2, 3 on the ground. 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have counted this better. Dang it. Horse feathers. Okay, I have to recount. Give me 1 second. 17. Minus in the initial attack from Jack's arrow, we have 5 missing, 6 missing from that. So we're down to 11. 11 minus 3 from John on the roof is 8, minus 1 who's broken his leg, 1 who's dead in front of you, puts down to 6 total. 4 on the roof, 2 on the ground. Yes, there's still 1 more that's been saving up action points this whole time, like I thought it was. So he only keeps 1 short sword, but he's gonna move in to Thane now, who seems to be, you know, a force to be reckoned with. That's now actually joining the battle. And his first attack misses, since he's light and lithe. He's not really doing well against the armor. The second attack, what is his dexterity saves?
His dexterity is 12.
Okay, roll for dexterity for him.
He rolled a quick 20.
Okay.
In that moment, the sword comes over, he's trying to attack it, but Thane is able to smash him with his shield and knock him off to the side. It hits him well enough that he gets knocked to the ground and deals 13 damage. So, moving along, Thane now, he basically stops the onslaught of the attack in those 4 action points and completely zeroes him in his action points.
Dang.
Moving on to Thane now. Thane's going to take an action and he goes to attack, landing a blow and hits.
Well, Thane.
What's his strength?
22.
22.
He has a plus 17 poison, but I don't think that matters.
17 poison.
I think that's what it says.
Okay, so that's his base strength plus his 17
He has
poison.
12, which I think is his base, plus 20 probably from his sword, and then he has a plus 17 of poison.
17? I thought it was 7, but okay. Roll to see if the poison takes effect off of that. Actually, wait a minute, I'm rolling the wrong dice.
Okay, should you roll a percentage?
Yes. 64 versus 37. Yes, Thane does land the poison, and that starts seeping into the guy's bloodstream as well. Moving on from that, Thane just ended up jabbing straight down into his chest. His cloth light leather armor not stopping Thane's very nice sword at all. He pulls it out and then moves in to take one more swing, and in doing so lands the blow, and he's able to cut the guy's head off.
Good job, Thane.
So, if you're listening, Thane. But,
Still need to do something about those archers.
as that comes around, the volley of arrows already came around this round. The last guy up on the roof, who is not seem to be doing anything, because there's only 3 guys on the roof shooting, he kind of slides off and disappears off to the other side of the roof and kind of disappears and leaves. And Thane, Old Ross, though it would have been great if he noticed that, does not notice it happen. But at the end of that, it comes back to John, who is now able to vault up onto the roof. He's going to do his agility, and he took his stat sheet with him. But he's only able to...
His agility was base 0.
Base 0, yeah. So he's able to basically jump up and grab a hold of the edge of the roof, but he wasn't able to vault up on it quite yet. Didn't have the big guy to help him out. But,
I'm pretty sure if he was you, I would have been like, you know.
The big guy was preoccupied this time. So, is that your foot? I thought that was the table.
That was my foot.
That was weird.
That was weird.
But big guy's gonna go now and do one more attack at the little assassin. And he's still pummeling the guy, but the guy's still able to somewhat move out of the way and dodge. He's definitely on the defensive now. Basically, at this point, the 3 archers up top see that John is starting to vault up and climb up the roof. And they realize that their ranged attacks aren't going to be able to do very good against John at close range. And they end up sliding off the other side of the roof and disappearing, leaving the battle. At which point, we are at just over 2 hours, and it's just you and Sam and I. Sam, do you want to pipe in and say anything?
Am I still on the ground with my pants over my head?
Yes, you basically, now that the battle has ended, you're able to sit up
The entire time they were healing me and everything?
Yeah.
I feel like he would have been up by now.
It would have come close to him, but the assassins left too soon.
I didn't get to do a single thing. Dang.
Neither of the chemists really did much, except for, well, he did do the initial explosion.
I was about to run in, but I don't remember about the whole explosive thing. I'm like, he might... If I run in, he might actually hit me with it, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll just save up for another action point, and then I'll just go... Rah.
So, anything you want to do, Sam, now that the battle's over?
Yeah, heal up and start searching the bodies.
Okay. Samantha's able to work on healing herself. Just go ahead and look at their stat sheets between Leona, yourself, and take off whatever supply you need to do
Well,
for...
I know the thing needs to be healed 42.
Okay.
I'm right back at full. Leona's full. Did Leona get hit?
Leona?
Yeah. Did she get hit?
Leona never did get hit, no.
Okay.
They missed her.
I don't know what Samantha's knowledge is though.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that either, so just mimic Leona's.
Okay.
But between them, heal up everybody. Sam, you're gonna hit full health. Use 3 supply off of Samantha or Leona or whatever for Sam's. You have a number of bodies now sitting around. One of them is unconscious against the one building from that blast hitting him. So, you do have potential for prisoners.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Somebody get some information off this guy.
as you're recovering from the battle, Prince Eric comes walking back into the courtyard. He's coated in blood, half of his face, his scars, the blue glow and electricity is slowly fading, and he walks back in. He apparently has beaten every single one of the guys he took on. Yes.
Experience?
I was gonna get there.
You just started getting to the story again, so I was like,
Yep.
just in case.
10 enemies, not extremely high level, but 10 enemies nonetheless. We're gonna go ahead and give everybody 35 XP.
Okay.
So you'll go up 3.5 levels, Sam.
Sweet.
Finally got to do some fighting.
Yeah.
Since you took out a good chunk of the enemies that you were doing, take a bonus 20 off of that.
Alright. Sounds good.
Oh, and also put a record on for John, like text him or something. Let him know that he gained 40 XP.
Will do.
Okay. So go ahead and do your whatchamacallits with your stats and whatnot.
So you have to do it for 3 people.
Yeah. Go ahead and just...
How much was it? 35?
35, yeah. Put Thanes off to the side so he can apply it to his stats as he wants to.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna put like, hey, you got this many skill points, or if you goes up 5.
Now, do we want to wait until next week where we have more people, or do we want to continue on?
Oh, he's already 5 experience, so he's actually gonna go 4 levels. He's gonna hit level 80 now.
Nice. Thane?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, he's happy now. You're gonna hit what? 83?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
No, 82.
82. He's catching up with you.
If he uses 0, he went up. He gets another skill. He already has a skill point saved here. So he now has 2 skill points, and he's now gonna have. I think we're about 4 levels, so he now has 5 stat points.
Okay. Sam, you gonna do anything?
Yes, well, I'm gonna start searching bodies and, coming up with, better ideas for battle. For, finding...
I already know what I'm putting those stat points.
Finding what you clipped out there.
Sorry, I'm gonna start, searching the bodies and start thinking of, a better way to help defend myself whenever I get into melee.
Okay.
So, that's what I'm gonna be concentrating on for a little bit.
Okay. As you are searching the bodies, none of the monks really have much for, assassins. Yes, none of the assassins really have much for value on them. Many of them carry knives with different things like poison and stuff like that. But most of them aren't as legendary as most of your weapons are.
Yeah.
For you, Sam, you might actually take interest in some of them because everybody has quite high level stuff in comparison to what you carry. Do you want to dig around for any of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Roll a d10 to sense environment, see where it lands.
Let's see, D10?
Yep.
Not so much. That's gonna be a 1.
Ouch. Yeah, unfortunately, because of what you're looking at and stuff, you don't end up finding much. Some of the other people end up looting as well, so you don't see everything that you get, or that the entire party gets. The knife that you found is just basically a +3 with a poison 1. So, not great, but you might still like it.
Yep, sounds good to me. I had an idea.
Okay.
This is for whenever we get back or get some downtime.
Mm-hmm.
The flame pudding, right? That I've got going on.
Yep.
How thick is it? Is it like is it too thick to maybe like put into like a hose?
Yes.
Or have it like continuously running?
It's too thick to make into a viscous fluid that you could throw or anything. It's more like a soft Play-Doh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, in that case, I'll start looking for spare metal parts that could be melted.
You end up finding, as far as pieces of armor and stuff, little plates, bad, not so good knives. You end up finding about 10 to 12 pounds of steel that could be resalvaged.
Sounds good. The wife is begging me to get off now, so I gotta watch.
Okay. In that case, we will cut off here, and we will hopefully have John back next week, because the aftermath of this battle will be quite interesting.
Sounds good.
Alright. Anywho, hope everybody enjoyed. We will be back around 7:30-ish again next week. And as always, see you next time.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Alright.
my
Yeah, I'll have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
towards wakes up target.